everybody, I'm Lucy from the Jackson District Library. So Jackson School of the Arts and Ellis Sharp Museum have collaborated to bring in an amazing exhibition to the Ellis Sharp Museum this January. It's called Frida's Garden, and it's all about Frida Kahlo and her childhood and adult home and a lot of the gardens that she had when she was there. It launches on January 29th. But before it launches, we need your help. We are trying to decorate the exhibition with flowers. If you want to make one of our beautiful little tulips, you'll only need one piece of paper. Now for this one, bigger is better. If you can really get a nice big sized piece of paper, you're gonna be better off. This is about as big a paper as you really need, but I wouldn't recommend using construction paper for this particular project. You need a paper that's a little bit smoother. Quite honestly, I've used recycled book pages and it's worked out beautifully. For the tulip, you will also need that pair of scissors again, only if you're starting with a rectangle piece of paper. And you will again need the glue, and you will need some way to hold the paper together while you are letting the glue dry. For me, again, that's the binder clips and the paper clips today. All right, let's get started. So for this video, we're going to make a origami tulip. And this one's actually a lot of fun to make, but you gotta start with a square piece of paper. I'm just using regular copy paper today. You can use any type of paper you want, from recycled book pages to, it doesn't work really well for this particular flower with construction paper, but you can try. It's just gonna be a little trickier at the very end. Cardstock, regular copy paper tend to work a little better. So what I'm gonna do, since I don't have a square, so I'm gonna go ahead and make one by folding the paper in half to make a triangle on the top. And then there's this little edge at the end that I'm just going to go ahead and cut off. Now, you try to make this square as you can. If you look closely at mine, it's not. It may make something slightly difficult, but it's not going to be a huge deal breaker for the end product of the flower. I like making it so they're a little off, just because then it actually becomes a little bit more unique, like all the other flowers are. So then you open the paper back up. Now I've got my square. You're going to fold the paper one side corner to corner. Okay? And then you're going to open it up. And you're going to fold the other side corner to corner. Now you should have a nice pretty X. We're gonna flip the paper over, and then we're gonna fold it into a rectangle. So you're gonna take the two corners and go to the two opposite corners. Open it back up. Turn the page 90 degrees. And you're gonna do the same thing all over again. Folding those two corners to the opposite corners on the table, making a nice rectangle. Okay? All of that seems really, really silly, but what that was doing was getting us ready for our next step. We're gonna open the page back up, and then, so we're going to try and make it be a triangle by squeezing all of those edges together. And this is what the bottom of it's going to look like as you're trying to fold it together. And you're gonna make a triangle right like that. Now I did that because I had the one side that was already very, very nice and poofing up a little bit, so you could just press in those two sides and bring the outside corners of the square together to become that triangle. All right, so now we've got our triangle. The next step is to fold up your edges of the triangle to make a diamond shape. Now you're gonna wanna make sure that you've got the open side going up. All right, so we're gonna do that on two on this side of the paper. And then we're going to flip the paper over, hiding that diamond that we've created on the opposite side. And we're gonna do it again, flipping up and folding those edges of the triangle to make a diamond shape. Very good. This is where you can see a little bit of my, because I wasn't so even, it shows a little bit right there. but that's okay. Now you're going to take those diamond edges that you folded up, and you're going to fold them together to turn the diamond a bit to the side. All right, so then you've got this lovely diamond shape. You've got a closed end on this side, and you've got a hole on this side. If you're looking for origami instructions somewhere, this one is going to be called the balloon tulip, because this little hole at the end will eventually be how we make the tulip pop. But our next step is to fold these edges of the diamond in towards the center fold right here. So I'm going to fold them in, trying very hard to keep your the tip of your diamond, nice and pointy, and pressing down hard to make sure that you've folded all of the edges. This is where things get a little tricky because you're folding a lot of paper here. So just press down as hard as you can to make those diamonds into what looks kind of like a kite shape. Then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to do the same thing once again. Again, pressing hard to make sure that you've got it all nice and poofed. All right, last one here. Okay, we've got one nice pretty kite shape with our hole at the bottom that's barely visible. The last step that I like to do, I like to fold up on either side right to the edge of that triangle. This is going to help your tulip pop out a little bit. And then you fold up on the other side. So now you've got both sides so that this bottom triangle is a little wiggly here. That's really helpful. Before we go any further, we need to get out our glue. We're going to glue down the edges of this kite. This, I like to do just a little bit down here in the bottom corner, because all you're really doing is making it so that this paper doesn't flop up on us. A lot of times when you get this product finished, it doesn't last as long if you don't have these edges glued. I know if you're making traditional origami, you don't want to use glue, so you don't have to. I just like to do it because otherwise my projects end up falling apart a little bit. Got a little extra glue, I'm just going to wipe it off to the edge over here. And this is a point when you paper clip it together on both sides, or use a chip clip or a heavy object to set on top of it, and you let it sit for a couple minutes to let the glue dry. Now that you've let your tulip dry, remove whatever you got, keeping it closed. For me, that's removing these paper clips. And then we open it up. You're supposed to blow into this bottom spot, but we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so I'm not actually going to advocate that you do that. I'm going to instead say that you press down on both the top and the bottom, and it will eventually pop out like so. And then you're going to go around to the edges, and you're going to square them up a little bit. You can see that this particular one was a little tricky for me. This is why construction paper is not the greatest of choices. It doesn't hold up for this step. Even if you're blowing in air to balloon it up, it doesn't work real well. We're going to make sure that all of these edges are nice and folded, and then it sits nicely on a table so that you can roll back the leaves, or the petals really. You can roll back the petals of your tulip. That is the top half of each of your corners. Okay? And this is why it doesn't matter so much that if your edges aren't perfect, because then your petals just get a little bit of an imperfection, and it's quite pretty actually. And once you've rolled back all 4 of those edges, congratulations, your tulip is done. If you're looking for more information on Frida Kahlo, we have a whole bunch here at Jackson District Library. Just search our catalog. We have some great biography resources as well in our online databases. You can also check out our other video that has more information on Frida Kahlo. It also includes a second tutorial on how to make another origami flower. So now you know how to make these beautiful flowers. If you need some supplies, stop in at the Jackson School of the Arts to pick them up anytime between now and the end of January. When you have your flowers all done and you're ready to drop them off to help out in our Frida's Garden exhibition, please drop them off at the Ella Sharp Museum during any of their open hours. Check their website for more information on when they're open. Please have your flowers all into the Ella Sharp Museum by January 31st so we have a chance to get them all up in our exhibition. Hope to see some of your flowers in our beautiful exhibition. Have a great day.